So we're going to go live, and in this YouTube live stream, we're going to talk about 10 advanced tips for Elementor page builder. And it doesn't mean that you need to have Elementor Pro in order to, in order to use and apply these tips to your workflow. It only means that you're not an absolute beginner, right? And if you have watched the previous video about Elementor tips and tricks that we have been that I did the previous week, it means that you know the tips for beginners, and now this is time to talk about more advanced Elementor techniques and some of the settings that you might tweak in order to make your workflow a little bit more comfortable. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can change the language of the interface in your Elementor editor. This is going to be the first tip. The second tip is going to be how you can use the role manager. What the role manager is and how the role manager that you have in the Elementor Free and the Elementor Pro are different. This is going to be the second point. Then the third tip is the possibility to change the breakpoints for the tablet devices and for the mobile devices. Then the fourth one is how to use shape dividers, which is a great tool if you want to improve the look of your designs, the look of your layouts, make them more creative. And I see a couple people in the live chat. Hey guys, thank you for joining in. We're going to start, and for now I'm just listing the tips and tricks that we're going to talk about in this video. Then the fifth tip is how you can apply the minus margin, the negative margin, to your designs and how it is going to impact your design, make it more creative, more outstanding, more unusual. Then the sixth tip is going to be the inline with feature that Elementor rolled out in, I guess, in the version 2.5, when they presented the Flexbox layout, they introduced also the inline with feature, and we're going to talk about that as well, just really briefly. And if you're interested in a more in-depth overview of the Flexbox layout and the inline functionality in particular, we have the videos on our channel about those, and if you want to watch them, just go to our YouTube channel and you're going to see those videos. Then the seventh tip is going to be inside Elementor editor as well, and we're going to talk about how you can make the emails that you add to, let's say, your contact pages and also the mobile phone numbers, how you can make them clickable. It's also a great thing that's going to speed up your workflow a lot. Then the eighth tip is the URL suggestions, which is also a great one. It's a great shortcut. It's going to make it a lot quicker for you to create linked buttons, or when you have a chance to link your widget to some page, maybe internal or external. We're going to talk about that as well. Then ninth tip. Okay, I'm obviously having a problem with numbers. Ninth tip is the one that is the Elementor's feature that has been introduced in the latest update. It was a couple of days ago, if I'm not mistaken, and it is background slideshow. I'm being honest, I haven't tried it yet, but we're going to do it in this video and we're going to see what it's all about. Really excited about that. And the last one, the 10th tip for today, is the HTML elements. We're going to see how you can add HTML and CSS styles to your widgets without having Elementor Pro and without having the custom CSS option. Alright, this was the brief overview of this video. If you guys are still watching somewhere on Facebook, Instagram, whatever else, check out the links to the stream and go to the YouTube stream that is happening right now and see the entire live stream. And we're gonna start right now, but give me a second. First, if you're watching on YouTube at this moment, if you go to the description under this video, you're going to see a promo code. And let me explain you about what this promo code is and how you could use it. Actually, the promo code is, let me have a look, webinar 10, and this is the promo code that you can use on one.templatemonster.com in order to subscribe to one membership at a 10% discount. So let's have a look at what one actually is. One subscription is an ultimate web development kit. it's written here, and all it means is that this is a service that provides over 10,000 items for website building. Those include, okay, I'm going to scroll the entire page. I'm going to be really brief about it, and we're going to proceed to the actual video, to the actual tutorial and the actual overview of those tips and tricks. So one is a website where you can download any number, an unlimited number of products for website building. Those include WordPress themes, WordPress plugins, and themes and templates for a lot of other CMS, including e-commerce templates as well, also stock photos, graphics, presentation templates for PowerPoint, Keynote, Google Slides, etc. Also, yeah, if you are interested, you could just follow this link and you could have a look yourself. Okay, let me really quickly share this link to the live chat. So if you follow this link and if you want to subscribe to one, and if you use this promo code, you're gonna get a 10% discount. So actually it is only $19 per month, and really often there are some giveaways, or maybe the like right now there is there is a sort of a discount that is happening right here, but if you use that promo code, it's also a 10% discount. So this was about one, and also since we're talking about Elementor in today's webinar on TemplateMonster.com, we have an Elementor marketplace. Let me tell you a little bit about that. So if you go to WordPress store, on Elementor we have a huge number of WordPress themes based on Elementor, built with Elementor and optimized for Elementor and Elementor add-ons. We also have a huge number of themes for WooCommerce, also based on Elementor, and we also have Elementor add-ons, a huge number of Elementor add-ons, but okay, a huge number. It's really subjective. Being more specific, okay, the internet connection, okay, perfect. What's happening? Have no idea. And if you're seeing this too, it's not a good sign, which means that, okay, we're streaming right now. This is why there might be some issues like that happening. Do not pay too much attention to it. And since we have recently updated our website, TemplateMonster.com is now brand new. It has a brand new design. Stuff like that, I don't know, might happen sometimes, and we just need some time to figure this out. Hey guys, we're having some new people joining the live chat. Hey there. And what I wanted to tell you about is the Elementor marketplace, where you can download Elementor WordPress themes, plugins, here they are, and Elementor templates for Elementor Pro and for Elementor, even without any add-ons. Here it is. So here is the list of the Elementor templates. They include one-page templates. They're mostly one-page templates, or they can go in bulk. So there will be a bunch of pages. Like in this case, there may be one page or 2 pages or 3 pages, depending on the template that you choose. So it could be a landing page. These are mostly landing pages, as you see here. These only have one page, but if you scroll up, they're somewhere here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here they are. Here 5 pages, 6 pages, 7 pages. You just choose the ones that you like, and you could have a look at those. Also sending a link. So now let's jump back to the Elementor editor and have a look at the first tip that I have prepared for today, and it was how to change a interface language in Elementor editor. And by the way, if you have any questions along the way, maybe some suggestions for the future topics for our live streams, I'm waiting for those. If you have any ideas or suggestions, any questions, just type that all in the live chat. I'm constantly checking it, so yeah, we'll be happy to see messages from you. So we're starting with the first tip: how to change the interface language. And here, as you see, I have everything in English. And let's say I want to change it to some other languages. Let's say I would be more comfortable using Elementor in another language. So with Elementor, it works the following way. To change the interface language, you have to change the language of the WordPress dashboard. If you go to settings, and under the settings tab or window or whatever you call it, here you have the site language. Here's the site language, and let's change it to German. Like, I don't really care, it doesn't really matter. As an example, we're changing it to German and clicking Save Changes. And once we save changes, you probably think that, okay, it is going to update the Elementor editor right away as well. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens once we change the WordPress dashboard to German. Okay, don't freak out. I'm gonna switch it back to English once we're done with this first tip. Alright, so getting back to the Elementor editor. Now we are refreshing to see if the language change has been applied to the editor itself, and we're going to see if anything has changed. Okay, normally if you want to learn more about the languages in which Elementor is available, you could just Google how to translate Elementor into any language, how to translate Elementor into Russian, how to translate Elementor into German, Italian, Spanish, whatever. Alright, and if you just Google it, you're going to find quite a bit of information, and also you're going to find on wordpress.org, you're going to find a list or a table, whatever you call it, of the translation for Elementor editor. And you as an Elementor user, if you have an account on wordpress.org, you can contribute to this community that helps translating Elementor into different languages, which is super awesome. And should I share it to the live chat, or you could find it yourself? Not sure. Don't really want to waste much time on this first tip, since I understand that not everyone is gonna need this. But I find it super interesting that you, as a regular user, can contribute to, to such an important thing as the translation and, stuff like that. So as you see, nothing has changed, and Elementor is still being, it's in English. The interface language hasn't changed at all. So what can we do here? Here, from the settings tab, we have to go to dashboard and updates. We have to go to updates, and this is how we're going to fix it. We need to go to updates, and we need to apply this update to our website in order. Here we go. We go to, I'm sorry for everything being in German, but we need it as an example. Here it says updates, and here you will see translations. And you have to update translations in order for these language changes to be applied to your Elementor editor. This is how it works. It's let's say a two-step method. Yeah, you need to, here you see that it's translating the plugins that you have on your website into German. So now all of the plugins and themes supposedly are going to be in German. Alright? Here it is done, and let's get back to the Elementor editor and try and refresh once again, and we're going to see if it has been translated into German. Alright, and while we're waiting, let's actually translate Elementor. Let's see if it's going to show us anything. Yeah, it's only showing you the way to translate, but actually, how to translate with Elementor, no, I think that I have I have seen it right here. If you click to if you go to Elementor documentation. Okay, plugin translation page. Here it is. Now I'm going to share this link. And the Elementor team has put this link on their knowledge base, so you can access it if you just Google it. You see, it's kind of a little harder to find it if you just Google it, but here it is. And here you can see all of the languages in which Elementor is available, which is super awesome. And if you have an account here on WordPress.org, you can contribute to these translations. As you see here, you can see how much of the interface has been already translated, and if you see some gaps or some of the translations are missing, you can add your own. You can just sending it to the live chat right now. So you can contribute and you can add your own translations right here, which is, I find it super awesome. All right. Okay, okay. There it goes. We're back to the Elementor editor, and you can see here that now the interface is in German. You see, widget suchen and speichern, stuff like that. It has translated the English words in the Elementor interface into German. So this is how you can change the interface language. Just follow this simple two-step method, which is not really obvious, but it works, and it works perfectly for Elementor and for the other plugins also. So let's get back to the WordPress dashboard, and let's change it back to English. So we now all understand what the dashboard is saying. And it was the first tip, changing the interface language. And the second tip is going to be the role manager. We're going to have a look at what that is. Okay. English. Back to English, changing it. And role manager. So in short, role manager is a tool that helps you secure your Elementor editor, secure your website that you have created with Elementor editor, the style settings and also some advanced settings from from your client if you're making this website for your client. And what it does is just disables the possibility to edit certain parts of the website created with Elementor. It just disables the possibility to edit them completely. And in order to access this thing, let's go to Elementor Role Manager. This is where it is. You can access it from the WordPress dashboard, and if you go to Role Manager, let's just wait. Let's give it some time to load. And meanwhile, I'm gonna go and refresh this page so it updates and we don't see the German interface anymore. And as you know, on WordPress you can create multiple users for your website, and multiple users that can have access to your dashboard as well. And in the free version, you have a little bit different settings. They are a little bit different from those that you have in Elementor Pro. And with the free version of Elementor, you can only disable the access to the editor completely. Like the person that has, here you see editor, author, contributor, subscriber, customer, shop manager. All of those are the types of accounts that you can create on WordPress. And with the free version of Elementor, you can disable the access to the Elementor editor for this particular type of user. And I hope it's clear. And if you have Elementor Pro, you can give this person, the person who has this type of the account, the access to edit only the content on your Elementor pages created with Elementor. So they can only change the stuff that is in the content tab, but they're going to have no access to the style tab and the advanced tab. But with the free version, it's not an option. You can only disable the access to the editor completely. Let's see what's there. Okay, it's still in German. So it means that we have to go to the updates and update it again, so it changes back to English. So with the role manager, it was pretty brief. I hope it's clear, but surprisingly, a lot of people don't know about that it's an option to disable the editor for certain types of user accounts on WordPress. But it's a really cool thing because let's say you don't want, okay, seems like it has to be back to English, and it's back to English. Okay, sorry. So all right, this is how you use the role manager. You just, with the Elementor free, you can disable the access to Elementor editor for certain types of user accounts. A great thing as well. 3. Next one is the chance to change the tablet breakpoints and mobile breakpoints. What are those? Here we're in the Elementor editor, and once you want to edit the layout for the tablet devices and for the mobile devices, you go to responsive mode. Once you click on it, here you have 3 different options. The first option is desktop, obviously, which we're now editing, and the second one is tablet, and the third one is mobile. And here you can see preview for 768 and 360. So these numbers mean the number of pixels at which the layout is going to switch to the tablet mode. So since you have 3 modes, only desktop, tablet, and mobile, you need the certain points at which these layouts are going to change each other, right? And hey there, new people in the live chat, thank you for joining in. You are awesome, thank you for watching. And desktop, tablet, and mobile. So, and you actually have a chance to change the number of pixels at which the layouts are going to change each other. And we can do that if we go to the WordPress dashboard again, and we go to Elementor, and in the settings we have a chance to change the number of pixels. And let's say you want to, for example, you want your website, your layout of your pages to switch to the tablet mode. As we'll go to style, the second tab, not the general but the style tab, scroll down the tablet breakpoint. So default, so the default is 768, but you can change it to, let's say, 1025 or 988. This is just up to you. You can change it, and if you do change these breakpoints, your layouts are going to only appear at this particular page width, screen width, whatever you call it. So this is how you change the breakpoints for your mobile device modes, tablet device modes. It was the third tip, how to change the tablet device breakpoints and mobile device breakpoints, the third tip for today. Now, the fourth tip. The fourth tip is going to, it happened again, fourth tip. The tip number 4 is going to concern some design tools. And the other tips for today are pretty much also mostly about design and about the things that you can tweak and change here right in the Elementor editor. And the fourth one is the shape dividers. Let's have a look at that. So, okay. If we select one section, and you would think that it might be somewhere in the layout tab, but it's not. We need to go to the style tab and scroll down. We have a background overlay. By the way, if you're interested to learn more about what background overlay is, we have a separate video on our YouTube channel. It's not super new, but it covers all the needed functionality which hasn't changed to this day. So if you're interested, you can check out our other video about background overlays. Also, here, now we're talking about a shape divider. A shape divider is a really, really cool design tool that allows you to apply really, really interesting, let's say, borders. Not really borders, but it allows you to create interesting shapes, and it allows you to make your sections not just rectangular. It allows you to change the border of the bottom or top border of your section and make it a really interesting shape, a really interesting pattern. And I see a new question in the live chat. Add a fourth breakpoint. You mean, okay, let me try and reply to that. Thank you so much for the question. And I think that what you mean is that here we have three types of layouts: desktop, tablet, and mobile. And what you want to ask is if we can add one more on top of these three. Right? Is that right? Did I get it right? Well, as you see here, we have a possibility to change the tablet breakpoints and mobile breakpoints, which is already great, which is already some customization possibilities. And as you see, there is such option is nowhere to be found, at least in Elementor free, because I haven't found one. I haven't come across such an option. As you see, we don't have any right here. And this is actually a really good question, because I've heard, you know, I've heard people talk about it also before. Like, we have, even for desktop, we have these huge monitors, we have huge displays, then we have smaller monitors, small for, you know, people who use smaller screens, or when they resize the window, it would also be really helpful. And you know, I haven't found such an option in Elementor, and if you have any insights about that, it would be awesome if you shared them in the live chat. But it seems like there is not an option. Maybe I'm missing something out. Maybe, you know, maybe I just don't have the answer right now. But we could try and research more about that. As far as I'm aware, for now it's not an option. Elementor has certain limitations, and maybe if you go and suggest it somewhere to the Elementor team, they have a great, really responsive community on Facebook and WordPress.org, and if you go to some of the forums and suggest this feature, I'm pretty sure they're gonna roll something like that out in the nearest updates, because it's a really good thing, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would be really happy about the possibility to be able to add the fourth breakpoint, right? So thank you so much for the question. If you have any more questions, suggestions, ideas, just feel free to type them right in that live chat. So back to the shape dividers. So we're now here. I have selected this section. Yep, thank you. I have selected this section, and we went to style, shape divider, top or bottom. Let's edit the bottom end of this section. So there we go. And here we have a huge list of different shape dividers. And okay, you cannot really see it well, but let's change it to some other one, like drops. Well, you can play around with those, and what it allows you to do is create... Okay. No, it's not colorful enough to see the difference. It's not that bright. Too bad. So I hope that you can see it. I could go and grab some other section, but not really sure we have enough time for that. So I just hope you can see that the bottom border of this section has now changed, and it has this interesting shape, pyramids, triangle. So this is what it allows you to do, some different kinds of really creative, let's call them transitions between the sections. It allows you to create a sort of a transition, and now the change from the previous section to the next section happens a lot smoother, and it looks a lot more interesting. And it's not all, because you can also customize the width of these sections, even, wow, like that, and the height of this shape divider as well. And you see that all of the elements, they do not just stretch and distort, they actually adjust to the value that I set in here, and it all looks natural, and whatever value you set in there, it just looks great. I really, really like this feature, the shape dividers thing, and you can flip them. You can also change the Z index, so it is in front of all the other elements in this section, even if they have some higher Z index, right? And you can even change the color if you want to blend this shape divider with the background color of the next section. You can also change the color in here. Okay, this was the tip number 4, shape dividers. And I have a new question. In the live chat. Let's have a look at that. Do you know about shortcodes? If yes, can you explain in another stream? Shortcodes. Okay, shortcodes. If I got this right, there are... Okay, let's define what we mean by that. Actually, the terminology is a really important thing, and some people call those things shortcuts, shortcodes, hotkeys, and let's be clear about what we're talking about here, so we understand each other. And okay, let's just define what is meant by the shortcodes. If you could write one more message in the live chat and give me a little bit more detail about what you mean by shortcodes. Yeah, sure, we could talk about that. If you mean hotkeys, we were talking about them in the previous video, in the previous live stream last week. It was about more, for some other tips for Elementor editor for the people who are just starting out with Elementor, and we were talking about hotkeys. These are called hotkeys. Some people call them shortcuts, maybe shortcodes. Haven't heard that, but maybe shortcodes. So if you mean something different while saying shortcodes, just let me know in the live chat. Okay, so next one, number 5, minus margin. And let's have a look at what a minus margin is. The negative margin is a thing that you can apply to your layout, to some of the elements in your sections, to the widgets themselves, to the sections, also to the columns. Hey, also to the columns, and it is really interesting because you can use it for, as I've said, widgets, columns, and sections, and it could be to the left, to the right, to the top, to the bottom. Okay, something new in the live chat. Shortcodes are codes that you add to the theme for things like contact form 7. Okay, got it. I got it. Thank you for it. Okay, this is exactly what I thought. But the thing is that it's a great thing, but let's have a look at it. It has been 30 minutes of the stream, and I still have more than a half of my list of tips to go over. And okay, I promise, if we have time at the end of the stream, I'm going to have a look at that, and we're going to talk about it as well if we have time, because I wouldn't want to make it longer than an hour, just for the sake of saving time. I'm going to need to just either talk about it at the end of this video, or maybe talk about it in some tutorial on our YouTube channel, or maybe on the next live stream. But thank you for the suggestion. It's really interesting, and I really want to write this down. Short codes, and we're going to talk about that. This is a really good topic because I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would be really interested to learn more about it, how we can use shortcodes with Elementor. Okay, but we're switching to the minus margin. Actually, we're continuing with the minus margin, and let's just see what we can do with this column. Let's go to this column, and to access the margins and paddings, you have to go to the Advanced tab, and this is where you're going to have the margins and paddings, and let's just unlink them. And at this moment, okay, do we have something inside this column? Oops. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Okay, it actually seems like this is an empty column, and yeah, right, exactly. Oops. This is a little bit too close to each other. Okay, the hero section. And let's just see. Okay, there. It feels like there is the, yeah, exactly. So in this, excuse me, a little bit caught a cold, so sore throat. Don't pay attention. Sorry for that. So, 2 items. We have 2 items there. There are parallax things, and you can create parallax effects if you use jet elements, and I talk about jet elements a lot in some other videos. So if you're interested, check out jet elements plugin on TemplateMonster.com. It's a great tool. It's 50 plus unique widgets for Elementor editor. You can use it with both free Elementor editor and pro Elementor editor, and jet elements compatible with a ton of other plugins for WordPress, so it's a great tool to use. Alright, since this column is obviously empty, and okay, let's just see what other stuff we could move. Alright, what we could do here, just wanted to see. Okay, this is what we were doing last week. Looks funny. Alright, let's see at which element we could try the negative margin. I think this one. Alright, let's select this widget, but as I've said, you could use it with columns, you could use it with sections, you could use it with any widget. Alright, selecting this particular widget, the heading, going to advanced, and let's see what we can do there once we start adding some margin. Sometimes it doesn't work, so you just have to see. It's not going to work if it leads, normally it's not going to work if it leads outside the page, you know, to the right, for example. You cannot move it, you cannot move this widget to the right because of the restrictions of the layout itself, but you can absolutely freely move it to the left in this particular, to the other side, move it to the left in this particular case, which is really great if you want to create different creative types of layouts and you need this freedom. Let's say you want to make some elements overlap. Like as an example, let's create a new section with 2 elements. Let's grab an image and place it right there. It could be the image widget, it could also be just a background of the column, and here we could create the heading element. Let's just duplicate and grab it, drag it, drop it there. Alright, let's just, you know, try and see what we could do with the negative margin. Just want to test out a couple of design ideas that you could also utilize on your website, something like that. So let's go to the media. Let's go to the media library really quickly and have a look at what we got there. Okay, something. Alright, it could be this one. Yeah, this one. Okay, this one looks a little, I don't know, this one looks a little better. Yeah. So insert media, like that. You have an image over there, and let's go to the settings of this column. Vertical align, middle, and if we now go to the settings of this widget, of the image widget, and go to negative margin, and we try and move it to the right by using the negative margin. We could move it to the right like that. So we're gonna move it outside the grid. Okay. Oh, you know what? It's really weird. Okay, now it has to be back. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting me know, because I had no idea. I actually have the YouTube dashboard open on the right. Yeah, and it is really weird because I haven't noticed. I was just, I was really invested in what I was doing here, and I paid no attention. And thank you so much for letting me know. I have just fixed it, and it might be, yeah, I have no idea what the reason was. It just switched off and just out of the blue. Thank you so much for letting me know, and I promise it won't happen again. Yeah, some weird stuff happens to me all the time. So what was I doing? I was actually moving it with the negative margin, and yeah, let's just do it quicker. Minus 200, and the same with this element to the left. If you want to add some negative margin using the minus sign on your keyboard, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because Elementor simply, at this moment, when I'm recording this live stream, it doesn't support minus signs if you type them in manually, but it does support minus signs. It is possible to do it if you just, start clicking this down arrow, and it just starts to go below 0, and you could just add the needed value here without removing the minus. Let's just I guess 1 too much, something like that. I think it could work. Let's say 150. And it would be something like that. Okay, and if we now go all right, give me a second. Give me a second. What I wanted to do is okay. So I think it would be better if we just, if we swap it. Okay. No, it won't be better. Okay, I'm just wasting time right now, being honest. Okay. Whatever. Let's just get back here, and yeah, and just make the negative margin here a little bit. Let's just reduce it to let's say 80. Okay. Anyways, I feel like I'm wasting too much time by explaining this seemingly obvious thing. Yeah, and I think that you have now got the idea of what it is, how negative margin can be used on your layouts. Not a lot of people know this is actually a possibility to make the margins negative. And this is often the case with the paddings as well. So go and try this out. So done with that. Now inline width, which is another great tool that Elementor has introduced with the 2.5 update, I believe. And we're going to have a look at how you could utilize it on your pages. So what I want to do here is just delete this section. But before I do that, let's have a look at what we have here. So as you can see here, this is a inner section. It's in their section, and in order to place different elements, a couple of different elements in a line, let's say in a row, you need to add an intersection to your column, which is a little bit, which makes the hierarchy and structure of your page a little bit more complicated, which is not always a good thing. So in order to simplify your layout, simplify the structure of your page, Elementor has introduced the inline width option. Let's have a look at that right now. Remember this layout, remember how it looks, and we're going to do the exact same thing, but in a lot more simple way, which is also going to be better for the page itself. It's going to load faster. And what do we need here? Let's just duplicate this button, because I want to use this button, and let's just drag it to the top, dragging it to the top of the page. And I just noticed that we have a new message in the live chat. So, okay, you're writing that we need to practice more with mobile design. Okay, when you watch, yeah, it's surely a case. When you watch someone else doing it, it looks easy, but when you try doing it yourself, just something doesn't work, or maybe you just forget what you're supposed to do. And it's always the case when you're just starting out with something, with the new software, with the new web application, with some new tools, whatever that is. And it is really an issue, but only at the beginning. And trust me, it happens to everyone. Like, it's always frustrating when just starting out with something new, while learning a new skill or learning a new software, learning some new framework or some programming language or whatever. It's always weird, and it's always really unfamiliar, and it seems complicated, but it's really not. Once you get more familiar with it, once you get more comfortable with it, what you should do is just watch more tutorials, our tutorials by some other creators on YouTube, and read more tutorials, read some blogs, read more, just learn more about Elementor. Subscribe to the Elementor YouTube channel. It's a really great resource. They not only post the updates, the update videos, overviews of the new features that they roll out, they also post a lot of tutorials, and I strongly recommend that you check out Elementor's YouTube channel. It's super awesome. They also post a lot of tips and tricks for the users, and they engage with the community a lot, so you can ask questions in the comments and stuff like that. Also, I would recommend that you subscribe to their Facebook group, to Elementor's Facebook group. It's really responsive. They have really friendly admins, and the community itself is really friendly, and you could ask questions there, and you can get the answers. And I just find it really awesome when the developers engage with the communities that much, and that that in such a friendly way and an engaging way that Elementor does, and they really value all the feedback and questions that people send to them. So yeah, just try and absorb all the information about Elementor that you can find online. It could be tutorials, blogs. Check out Elementor's knowledge base. Also, a lot of great stuff there. And yeah, let's just do it really quickly. Elementor.com. If we go to elementor.com, this is their website, and help center. There has to be a drop down, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Help center. So, video tutorials, getting started, frequently asked questions, and the knowledge base. And check that out. You're gonna find a lot of super helpful info. All right, and thank you for the message. I hope that my speech right now was really inspiring, engaging, and informational for you. Thank you so much, and all the good luck with your Elementor journey. So, inline width, we're talking about inline width. So let's see how we can make two buttons side to side, like in one single column, side by side, right? And let's duplicate it, and this is what we see normally when we duplicate a widget in a column. So here we have seemingly some free space, but widget still takes it up. It doesn't allow us to add any other element next to it, like on the left or on the right, only on top of or underneath it, which is weird, but Elementor, they have actually fixed it. Let's select this widget, go to advanced, custom positioning with inline. And this is what it's gonna do. It's going to crop all the extra space that this widget was taking up, and it's only going to leave this button like that. So only the actual space that is taken by that button is going to belong to this widget. The other space is going to be free, which means that if we do the same to the other button, custom positioning, inline, they are going to be positioned in the same column side by side, which is super awesome. It makes your layout a lot more cleaner, and you can see it right away. We don't have to add any more inline any more intersections, any more columns, nothing like that. It's possible now to have several elements in the same column side by side. Now let's see actually what we could do with that, so we have a little bit more nicer layout and they're not cramped together. So, and let's go to the settings of this column. It might be a little bit tricky because we have some other elements, but let's try and see. So the horizontal align and vertical align things here in the settings of the column, they only work if we have more than one element in the column. And horizontal align applies to the elements that are side by side of each other right here. And center, and let's try space between, and it's going to add some space between them, leaving no space on this sides, space around, and also space evenly. If you're interested in this particular inline width feature, I talk about it in a lot more detail in another video on our channel. You could check it out if you just go to our YouTube channel and you find this video in the videos gallery. It's not that old, because yeah, if you just scroll down a little bit, you're gonna see this video. It's called Inline Width Overview or something like that, and I talk a lot about how to use this feature, the various use cases, and all the settings such as vertical line, horizontal line, and stuff like that. We'll also talk about it a lot, so if you want to learn more, check out that other video about inline width specifically. But this is the way to make your layout a lot more cleaner with inline width, which was the tip number 6. Tip number 7. All right, and it would be super cool if we now went to the about page. Let's just do that. Pages, and I would like to open the about page or maybe the contact page and see if we can. Okay, I guess contact page. Let's go to the contact page, and I'm in the 7th tip number 7. We're going to talk about how to make the phone numbers and the email addresses that you normally put on your contact pages clickable. So once the user clicks on let's say on the email address, they're able to send an email right away. And this is a cool thing if you want to engage with your visitors more, if you want to make it easier for your visitors to actually contact you. And let's have a look. Oh, great. There's the contact page, and we have all the stuff that we need right here. And as you see, the email here is already clickable. As you have noticed, I'm using Monstrate 2 WordPress theme, and I talk a lot about it in other videos. And if you haven't heard about Monstrate 2, it's actually a great tool if you need to create a lot of WordPress pages, websites, and you don't want to waste your time on designing every single page from scratch. So with Elementor, you get almost 1,000 of ready-made pages and sections created by professional designers with clean, responsive layouts, and also get a dozen of Elementor add-ons that belong to Jet plugins family, which are great add-ons that are going to speed up your workflow, add almost 100 of unique widgets to your Elementor editor, which are absolutely compatible with Elementor Free, with WooCommerce, Contact Form 7, and a dozen of other plugins. Not a dozen, with, if I'm not mistaken, with most of the major plugins for WordPress. This all is going to be compatible. And this is what you find in Monster 2. So, well, should I send the link? Should I don't know. Let's see. Let me share the link to Monster 2. This is the theme that I'm using. Oh, there it is. This is the theme that I'm using in this video and in most other live streams. This is the theme. This is my theme of choice, and because it's super quick to just access different pages, different layouts. You have a magic button here. Let's have a look at that. Magic button is a way to access that library which I was talking about. Here you can find all of that 1,000 of pre-made pages, sections, and stuff like that include headers, footers, different types of pages, different types of sections, such as galleries, about sections, contact forms, tabs, maps, all kinds of pages and all kinds of sections you can even think about. So this is how you navigate across this library. So you see the choice is just giant, and I just don't have that much time to show you around this entire library. Let me just okay, where is Monster 8? Let's just I want to scroll through this slider and find the Monster 8 theme. Actually, Monster 8 2. There we go. Let's just, because of the internet connection, everything is happening super slow, like it's super slow. What did I open? Oh, come on. Really sorry for that, but it happens, especially to me, it happens all the time. Cause, oh, okay. Yeah, because we're streaming, everything is super slow. Oh my. Okay. Just let me open the Monster 2 and send it to people. Come on. View details. Now it has to be that. Okay, perfect. For a link, obviously. Alright. Now we have the link to Monster 2, and Monster 2 is also included in the one subscription. So, if you were wondering. So, getting back to the clickable email addresses and clickable phone numbers. So this is what we have here, and icon list, whatever. And so let's delete it. Let's just delete it. I will need this number to use it later. Oops. Okay. And let's just delete it and create one from scratch and see how it works. Let's say I want to use a text editor. Let's see if it works with the regular text editor without any other fancy widgets. So let's just wait for it. Let's give it a second. Okay, wrong place. All right, let's just grab it and place it in here. So let's see. Inserting a phone number. Now it's not clickable. It's just a simple piece of text. But if we add this, it is supposed to become clickable right now. All right. And by the way, if you have any questions, if you have any questions to me, or if you want, okay, I know what I've done wrong. We actually don't need the text editor. We actually need to make, in order to make it clickable, we actually need to utilize a link. And this is what it's gonna do is make the phone number clickable, so it's gonna be possible for a user to open a sort of a dialogue dialogue on their smartphone if they're using their smartphone, right? Okay. And I'm checking the live chat right now. So if you have any questions, you could ask them right now. And okay, let's actually do it the easier way. Let's do it the easier way and let's see. Okay, now it works. because it wasn't working the previous time when I just opened the page. It was something weird. Now we can see the icons as well, but the font settings are a little bit weird. Okay, now it's working. Now it's working great. So it was the icon list, but you could also try and use some other also a text editor, but I decided to do it the easier way. So what you do is you create a link like that with the normal, like you normally do it with the HTML, like you normally do it with HTML. You simply create a link. Let me copy it, and I actually want to use the text editor. I want to use the text editor so you can see it better. Let's add it to some other place. Okay, it froze right now. So what I want to do is to use the text editor and add it to some other place to show you right here. Okay, it works. So this is all the code that you need to make the email address that you put on your contact page clickable. This is it. This is how you do it. And with the phone numbers, if I'm not mistaken, it is possible with the Elementor Pro. It's a lot faster and a lot easier. It's actually a lot easier. So this is how you do it with the email links, and it's going to be clickable. Once you view it on the preview, it is going to be clickable, and it's going to open the email sending dialog. So what about the numbers? Okay, text right here. What about the phone number? Let's see if we can do it. I have been honest, I have only tried it with Elementor Pro, but let's see if it's possible to do it with the phone number. So let's say +7 1 2 3, just some random number. It's not like not a real not an actual real number. So like that, and it is also supposed to be clickable right now, but let's test it out. It is actually a lot easier with Elementor Pro, and with emails it works if you put the appropriate HTML code in there, but let's see if it works with the phone numbers too. I'm actually testing it right now alongside with you guys, so let's see if it works. By the way, Elementor Pro offers you a ton of other cool things, and if you're interested, check it out. And you could find a list of. Okay, apparently it doesn't work. Yeah. Oh. Here it is. It was the wrong link, and let's see. It does work. Okay, cool. It does work. It does work, you guys. Back to black. Oh, screw. Thank you, guys. And I have no idea what that is. I mean, it happened the second time, and I still have no idea what it was. So, we're back. We're back here. We're back online with finally, the screen, which is showing a web page, actually, not just black screen. And thank you guys for letting me know about it again, because apparently I keep screwing something up and I keep messing up this black screen. I have no idea what the reason is. Probably it might be some key, and I have to just check the settings and the shortcuts, the hotkeys of the streaming software, because apparently I hit some hotkey by accident, which switches off the display capture. Probably this, yeah, I have to check the hotkeys for the streaming software, but it's not supposed to do that. Weird. Anyway, you guys, it's super weird. So I hope you didn't miss the fact that it is actually now clickable. This phone number is clickable, and you'll be able to dial this phone number, and there is the code. so you can see it. If you guys are interested, I could share it later in the comments under this video or in the description when this stream is over, and I can finally work on the description and on the title and stuff like that. And I'm going to put this code in the description so you can utilize it on your website too. So this is how you make your links, and your phone numbers that you put on contact pages or somewhere else in the footers or whatever. This is how you can make them clickable, so the user can click on them and contact you right away with no extra steps, no extra clicks, no need to, to go somewhere in order to contact you. So it was tip number 7. It's only tip number 7. Okay, you guys. We need to do it a little faster. We need to speed up the entire thing, cause well, okay, we're going over an hour already. Okay, something. Next one is tip number 8, which is URL suggestions. So let's find some button. Let's just do it really quickly. Some regular normal button widget, Elementor's button widget. It's some weird stuff going in here. It's either just some weird layout stuff in the Elementor panel. Weird. Okay, we're adding a new button in a new section, and here it is. And normally you are supposed to put a link in here. It could be external link, or it could also be a link to some other page on your website. And if you actually want to put a link to some other page using this thing here, if you want to link this button to some, let's say from the home page, you want to link this button to a contact page or about page, you could actually start typing the name of the page and the link field. And what is going to happen is it's going to suggest you the list of the pages that you have on your website, and it's going to suggest you what pages you could link this button to, which is super awesome. It's going to save you a lot of time while creating the internal the buttons that are linked with internal links, something like that, which is super cool. So if I want to link this button to the about page, I simply type the about in the link field. And I don't have to go and search for the permalink to this page. I can simply type in the name, and boom, there we go. It creates a link to this page, and I don't have to take any extra steps, and it's doing everything for me, which is super cool. Okay, it was tip number 8. All right, you guys. Now it is finally time to have a look at one of the newest features that have been added to the latest version of Elementor with the latest update, which is background slideshows. Super awesome. Haven't had a look at it yet, and I'm really excited to see it. Really excited, and I keep clicking on this header. Ugh. So I have updated my Elementor page builder, so I'm now running on the latest version of Elementor. And if I go to edit here section and style, this new little option here, background slideshows, and let's just see it. Okay, it's removed the existing background already, and as you see, this background keeps working with my parallax stuff here. Should we disable it? Really? Let's see. I don't know. It might. Yeah, I actually want to delete it. I want to delete the parallax stuff on my page because I wanna show you the like that. Okay. Sorry for the blocked nose. Sorry for the husky voice and stuff like that. So I just cut it cold. So yeah, and okay, I keep clicking on this header. It's not gonna change. Okay, edit this section, style, background slideshow. And if you want to add some pages, Oh, sorry, what pages? What pages? I want to add some images. Let's add some images. We just keep going and keep selecting the images. Okay, I accidentally pressed shift and it selected a whole bunch of images. Not what I want. Okay, clicking once again. I want to select. I'm just clicking on the images, selecting them. Let's choose three different images. All right, create a new gallery. So we have to create a gallery, insert a gallery, and let's see what it does right here. All right. Okay, let's delete this thing. Okay, this image is kind of horrible resolution. All right, as you see here, let me just talk a little bit about what this gallery is, what this feature actually does. Okay, now this one is gonna be better. This gallery is actually a slider, sort of a background slider, which serves as a background image of your section at the same time. So as you add background images to your sections, you can at the same time add this sort of a slider. It's called a gallery, but it's actually a slider. And also another great thing, you can add a sort of a zoom effect. Let's have a look. It looks super awesome. You see, it's slightly zooming in the image, and you can change the zoom direction in or out. So it's not only a now sort of background image slider, it's also an animated background image slider, and it's super cool, it's super awesome. And just imagine how much easier it actually is. You don't have to use some other fancy sliders, because it's just in the background of the section. I cannot even think of any drawbacks. First, you see a number of settings in here, such as slide duration, the duration of one image, for how long this image is going to be present on the screen. For now, if I'm not mistaken, it's for 5 seconds. It's set in milliseconds, and the transition duration is 500 milliseconds. And also you have the type of the slide transition, which looks super cool. Okay, all right, so this was it. The newest feature in Elementor Page Builder, background image sliders. Check this out on your website. It's available in the free version, which is really exciting and really surprising, because in my opinion, it's worth being in the pro version because it's so awesome. It's like, an entire animated background image slider. It even sounds awesome. All right, and there we go. No black screens. I hope no black screens. Going back to history, I'm just gonna, get back to the initial page design, because we're slowly getting closer to the last tip for today, and we're going over an hour-long live stream again a little bit. I hope one day it's gonna be possible for me to actually make it under 1 hour, at least one day, at least once. Okay, so something. Okay, let's give it some time to load and actually delete it. I deleted the parallax stuff, so whatever. Clicked on the header once again. It's not gonna change. Never gonna change. All right. So the last tip for today is called. Are you serious? It's called HTML elements. I'm sorry. It's called HTML elements, and it's not a lot of people know about it, surprisingly, because it's just a regular widget in Elementor editor. And custom HTML, this is not what we want. I prefer to use this one. It's a little bit more flexible, a little bit more comfortable personally for me to use, so this is why I would recommend using it. And I used it a couple times in our other videos on our TemplateMonster YouTube channel, and you could have a look at that as well. And in those videos I was using some HTML code in here and some CSS code, and we're creating some animated kind of stuff. So what I'm saying is that it's absolutely possible to add CSS styles for your elements created with HTML code in here. It's pretty limited, but what it allows you to do is add some creative, complicated types of icons, animated tags, animated icons too, even without having Elementor Pro. Not gonna be showing this right now, even though maybe it would be exciting, but I would have to type it from scratch. It's going to take quite a bit of time, and we now have to wrap this entire live stream up. So what I'm just going to say is that this thing allows you to add CSS styles to the elements. Yeah, it would be inline style, but still, as I'm saying, and it's cool to create. You could add here images, I guess some simple elements like images, icons, text. At least this is what I have personally tried to do, and it worked out. It really works, and I have tried to create some animated tags and animated icons, and actually have a video about that on our channel. So if you're interested, you could check this out and see this actual feature in action. It doesn't matter that it's inline style, it's still some more expanded possibilities for you. So actually, talking about inline styles, while creating the animated, it was the animated scroll down icon, a clickable one. I was creating it in two ways. I showed two ways to do it. The first way was to use the custom CSS feature in Elementor Pro, but I realized that not a lot of people have Elementor Pro, and not everyone wants to subscribe to the Pro version. Not everyone wants to purchase the Pro version. But there is also a way to create it with the HTML element with the free Elementor version. So I showed it in two different ways, comparing the two. It's two different videos. Pretty recent ones, and you can find them on our channel. If you're interested to see this particular HTML element in action. In this video, I'm just telling you about the stuff that is available. And we're really running out of time, and I know I promised to talk about short codes a little bit, but it's almost an hour and a half, and we really do have to wrap this thing up. I have written down the short codes right here. And yeah, and we're going to talk about it the next time. We're going to talk about it, not sure if in the next live stream, but for sure I'm going to do something about it. It's either going to be a tutorial, or we're going to talk about it in one of the live streams, I guess. So that being said, it's time to wrap this live stream up. Let me delete this element right there. It's time to wrap this thing up, and thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for staying for this live stream, for the entire an hour and a half live stream, and I hope that you have found something useful, something interesting for you, something valuable in this video, and I wasn't just rambling about some meaningless stuff for an hour and a half. And thank you as well. Have a great day. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching. And if you have any other ideas for the upcoming live streams, we're always open for new ideas, for new suggestions. And if you would like to see some specific workflow being presented, some specific technique being applied, everything like that, see you next time. Thank you. Really excited to see you next week at the same time, the same day, at the same hour. Really looking forward to the next live stream. So if you want to suggest something for the topic of the next live stream, contact us on social media and stuff like that. Don't forget to try the promo code, which is webinar 10, and which gives you a 10% discount while you subscribing to one membership by TemplateMonster. All of the links are up in the live chat if you want to check those out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm now going to go offline, and I'm gonna see you in a week. Have a great week, you guys. Have a great day. And thank you so much for staying with me for an hour and a half. Gosh, too long, just way too long. And I see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye. Oops.